Hello and welcome to Restless Gecko Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing my first impressions video of the Razer Deathadder V3 Hyperspeed. So in terms of specs, this is packing the Gen 3 opticals, a improved scroll wheel. It's a little bit heavier than the old one, more defined steps, so I don't think that this one's going to fall apart like the old one did. Absolutely no creak in the shell, is solid as a rock. The build quality is amazing on it. The much larger skates on the bottom there, if you can see that. The skates are amazing, I have to say. They're better than the Viper V3 Pro. Much better skates. A little bit faster as well. I have a theory as to why they might use faster skates on new mice, and I think it's so that you feel like the implementation of the sensor is different. I think they like to distinguish it, and obviously having smoother, faster skates gives you that impression, I would say. So I think that's partially why they did it. Maybe it's just an improvement in the skates overall. In terms of the, like I said, so the 3395, a modified 3395 with 26,000 max DPI, comes standard with the usual dongle with the 1000 hertz. Same as most of Razer's line, unless you buy the adapter, the hyperpolling dongle. The side buttons are now separated out, which is a bit nicer to use. It's a smaller shape, slightly modified, so it's not a direct clone and directly shrunken down. And it also weighs a lot less as well. I think it's like 55 grams. So overall, very good quality mouse. I would say in terms of like the Razer quality scale, I would say if this is 100%, the Viper V3 Pro, I would say this is about 90%. The clicks feel nice. There's small amount of pre-travel, a little bit of post-travel. The only thing I would say is that the whatever tensioning system they've used in this, if your hand gets a little bit sticky, it does lift the mouse button a little bit further, because obviously this has their new coating on it, which I think is really, really good. I think if they released a white version, it might be similar to the Viper V3 Pro. But if you listen to the difference in the clicks, obviously they're using the same clicks, but different tensioning system. If I do it with this one, there's a little bit of rebound. So when I click with this one, and my hands are obviously a little bit moist, a little bit sort of, what's the word, like it's a little bit humid at the moment, so it does stick to the coating. But when I pull my finger off the Hyperspeed, it sort of rebounds a little bit and just sort of flicks up just ever so slightly. It might just be my copy. I don't know if this is to do with their tensioning system or whatever. That's just something that I've noticed. But other than that, the mouse is a great buy, I would say, for £100 or $110, however much it is in the US, $100. I think it's a good purchase. I think it's a bit to buy the dongle as well for $130. I think that's a bit steep for what it's offering now, when you consider that you can get a really good Chinese implementation with 4K for less than £100, $100 in some cases. I do think that the exclusivity of the dongle is a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of an interesting business practice from Razer. I would much rather it be readily available from multiple places, rather than having to go directly to them, wait for it to ship from China, waiting upwards of, well, between a week and 2 weeks for it to ship, rather than just stick it on Amazon. Anybody who wants one can get one. They can apply sales to it, and it makes it a much more valuable item, I would say, rather than, or I mean, you can always buy it secondhand off Facebook or wherever you buy your things secondhand. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad mouse. The shape for me, it's halfway between a comfortable ergo and a decent claw grip mouse, but the issue with it being halfway between each is I never quite get exactly what I want. I don't get the stability of a larger ergo like my EC1. This is obviously just a bit more robust, and I do have quite wide and large hands, at like 19 by 11 hands, so the EC1 is really, really comfortable for me. This is obviously a little bit smaller, so if I just hold both of those up, you can see the size difference between the EC1. I think for me personally, if I get an ergo, I would rather a large ergo that fills my hand. I think if I wanted a small ergo that I was going to claw grip, I would just use an ambidextrous mouse, because to be honest with you, there's no difference. Or alternatively, one thing that I have noticed, the NP-01 is very, very similar in shape, but it just has more of like a bulbous back left hand side for some reason. I think it's with it being an asymmetric mouse rather than ergo mouse. But yeah, it just, I don't know, this feels a bit more intuitive to use. I think whether you're going to do a palm, like a palm claw hybrid, or an aggressive claw, you can sort of do that. For me personally, obviously it's difference in prices, about $40, $50 depending on where you live, excluding tax. But for me, I much prefer the NP-01 just because it gives me more stability because of its shape. And it still has a little bit of agility, not as much as with, for example, the Sora V2. But yeah, I can't knock it. I think it's a decent mouse. It's just personally not for me. They give you a little dongle storage compartment just above the bottom skate if you ever go to a LAN, or for everyone else, this will just sit on your desk and you'll never ever use it. So you've got a hollow part of the mouse there. But yeah, it's good. It's great. It's not for me personally. I think my hands are too large, really. I mean, I can comfortably do it, but again, like I said, it just leaves me in the middle of two places between stability and accuracy, and I get neither from it really. But yeah, so it's just not for me. But again, amazing build quality, much better than the V3 when it came out. The clicks are really, really nice, apart from that sort of rebounding thing that I've noticed, but that might just be my copy. No rattling whatsoever. Scroll wheels much better. So if you do prefer a smaller ergo, this might just be for you. Yeah, I can fully recommend it if this is something that you're looking for. Unfortunately, it's just not for me, and that's how these things go sometimes. But yeah, so thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe, it really helps the channel. If you leave a like, it helps with the algorithm. Same with the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. I'm usually pretty quick. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.